Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, and it's been a while since I've done like an interview or um, for those who haven't been following, like I've disappeared over the last like 6 months because I kind of switched careers, which has been taking up full time. I still think libertarian things and have libertarian thoughts and inclinations, so I figured let's do an interview. I was chatting with Dan and we're like let's talk. So Dan, I'll let you introduce yourself. This is Dan Behrman. Most of you guys know Dan, running for president for the LP nomination. Say hi.
Sure. Hey, how's it going? Um, I guess my little intro is I'm Dan Taxation and Stuff Berman. I was born in Los Angeles. I got to Texas as fast as I could and became a libertarian. Um, I identify as a Texan and I'm running for president of the United States from down here in Mexico. That's the jungle behind me. So yeah, that's the American dream is down here.
Got it. Yeah, and this is like when did the campaign first start?
um, we started, it would have had to been I guess early 2018 or mid 2018.
Mhm.
It was right around the time of the 2018 convention, I guess. When it and then like towards the end of 2018, it really started ramping up, and we've been going pretty strong all through 2019.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess the first time I officially announced was the day Gary Johnson got the nomination in 2016. So
Gotcha.
depends
Okay.
on how you measure it.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And how's it been the trail lately? Now with kind of everything that's going on with like COVID-19 and social distancing, how's it been like? How many like conventions have like? How many of the conventions have sort of adjusted how they're doing, canceled? How have you sort of adjusted your campaign strategy in this environment?
Right. So we had to cancel a couple conventions, but most of the campaign was already online through social media and online advertising. So that hasn't changed much, and I think that's actually made our campaign stick through this a lot stronger than a lot of the other campaigns who were relying on going to the conventions, which that plays into the whole strategy of it because kind of what I saw from the beginning is, we have this process where you're supposed to pander. I know this is the right word to use, but pander to all the libertarian delegates to get
Mhm.
the nomination. But that doesn't help grow the party or spread the message or further liberty. So what I wanted to focus on was figuring out how to take this libertarian message and bring it to the Democrats and the Republicans so that we could pull all of their votes. And so we've actually got a lot of support from outside of the party, and this is hopefully what I want to bring all this success that we've had to the national convention. However we end up having that national convention, I want to bring that and show everybody, hey, this is what we've really been able to do, and this is the way forward. If we really want to create more libertarians, not just
Mhm.
borrow votes, not just hope that we're getting enough people who don't like the other two, but actually show people that libertarianism is going to solve their problems, whether it's healthcare, minimum wage, all these other issues that people have, immigration, terrorism. If we can fix all those problems with libertarianism, then we'll get these people for life and not just for like some random, consequence of what the environment is.
Mhm. Cool. And then on that note, I mean, I guess the issue in everyone's mind nowadays is sort of the environment, the COVID-19
Right.
and all that stuff. So coming from that, sort of like, what are your thoughts on sort of like what a libertarian response looks like? Far not just like what would a libertarian government do, but like what sort of is the libertarian mantra in a situation like this, where when it comes to like sort of disease spread and prevention and stuff
Right.
like that, what would be sort of your take on this?
Well, I think, I've been kind of the middle ground on this
Mm-hmm.
because you have two extremes. You have
Mm-hmm.
one group of people that's saying, yeah, they don't have the right to tell us what to do. And therefore we're going to, we're still going to go out to, restaurants and sit really close together and, all this kind of stuff. And then you have the other extreme that's, no, we should follow every single order they have. We should stay in our homes. We should call the police if we see someone else out doing something
Mm-hmm.
non-essential. Just like every other scenario, those are extremes and neither one of them are right. Um, there are some proposed protests. I think one of them is actually tomorrow, where people are saying, "Hey, go out to your city hall just to break the law, just to show civil disobedience." And I'm in full support of that. But of course, use your precautions. If you are older, if you are immunocompromised, stay home. That's fine. Wear your masks if you go out, even if you're perfectly healthy. Wash your hands, avoid contact, keep your 6 feet distance, stay in open spaces where we know that the virus can't transmit that much, stay in your car, make it a drive-by protest. There are so many different things we can do to protect ourselves. We don't have to just lock ourselves in our homes. So I think there's a middle ground, but ultimately we have to recognize that what a lot of these governors are doing is they're attempting to impose some sort of dictatorship where they're going to order us to stay in our homes when they have no constitutional authority to do so. And people are just willing to accept that, and they're giving out citations, $500 or $1,000 for being outside of your home for what they consider to be non-essential. And they probably don't get it right. I mean, there's literally a million different products, probably a billion different products you can go and buy at any store, and they have tried to within a week just come up with like, okay, this is what's essential and that's what's not. It doesn't work that way. They're going to get it wrong. And so now we also see stores that are saying you can't buy socks or seeds to plant food, so that you don't have to go to the grocery store. All kinds of stuff like this. So we have to put some common sense to this, and we also have to understand that they are not our rulers or our masters, and we can't let them think that they are, and we can't let society adopt that mindset and really support it.
Got it. And then, so where do you think, is there an opportunity for the Libertarian Party or the Libertarian message in this environment? If so, what is it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually been really striking hard at this because a lot of people are out of work. And we have everything from property taxes and income taxes. The FHA actually and their loan programs increase the cost of housing, which makes it more difficult for people to own their homes, which has pushed so many people into the system of renting. And now people are worried, okay, I can't go to work because my company's been shut down by order of the government. How am I supposed to pay my rent? How am I supposed to buy food if everybody's living paycheck to paycheck, month to month, or biweekly? And so by recognizing all of these problems, we can say, look, this is why everybody should have savings. We shouldn't all be in debt. We should all own our homes, so if anything like this ever were to happen again, that we wouldn't have to at least worry about rent, which is that's a huge expense for a lot of people. That makes up anywhere from 30 to 50% of their monthly expenses, maybe more. And it's this is something that most people, libertarians have always been saying, yeah, we shouldn't have debt, we should live a little bit more free. And it's been a little bit difficult to cross over to other people, because they always say, oh well, but our jobs are always going to be there, we always have job security. And I think this is proving that anything could happen, and it doesn't just need to be a virus. This might be a once in a lifetime thing. This may never happen again, but there's always natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes. You might get in a car accident. You might have to, your mother might get sick, and you have to take care of her instead of spending, tens of thousands of dollars a month for a nursing home. You might want to take care of her. Maybe you can't afford the nursing home, and so now you have to leave your job to take care of her. How are you going to do that if you're living paycheck to paycheck? And people don't really consider this. And so to get us out of that rut, which a lot of people on the left, a lot of the Democrats, a lot of the Bernie Sanders supporters and Andrew Yang supporters, they recognize the problem. They just don't have the right solution. So we're really trying to say, now that this problem is apparent for everybody, we really need to recognize that, and here's a libertarian solution that's really going to get everybody out of there.
Cool. And then that's definitely an opportunity for the Libertarian Party in this environment. But on top of this environment, it's like the political environment that's just sort of this, pro-Trump, anti-Trump. It's not even like about issues anymore. It's just like, are you for Trump or anti-Trump? Like, how do you break through a libertarian message in when that's sort of the mindset of so many voters, where it's there's this line that's no longer about their daily lives. It's just about this one person and whatever they feel about that person.
Right. So there's two things. One is by pushing this message and getting people just to understand it, regardless of who they're actually going to vote for. This creates an opportunity where at least they're thinking libertarian ideas, which means when any politician says it, they're going to grab onto that, whether they're a Democrat or a Republican or a libertarian. So this is going to help a lot of the cross ballot candidates. I like to use the word cross ballot instead of down ballot, but so a lot of the people who are anti-Trump, they'll really vote for a lot of them will vote for anybody, especially at this point. They're not huge Biden fans. So if you give them another option, they're willing to listen. As far as Trump supporters, my position has actually been like, look, I get it. You like Trump. He's done some good things. And as much as, you know, a lot of libertarians don't even like him, I think we can agree he's done a few good things, maybe not even with the best intentions. Maybe he did them for completely selfish reasons, but he's done a couple good things. He's done a couple bad things, but he's done a couple good things. And a lot of the people who support Trump support the things like the cutting of taxes and that sort of thing. And so if you present the idea to him, well, yeah, he cut some taxes, but why didn't he just get rid of the entire IRS? Why didn't he go a step further? A lot of Trump supporters are supporters of the Second Amendment. Well, you know, he did take away some gun rights. Why didn't he repeal some of the, you know, some of the Obama, some of the Bush, some of the Clinton gun laws? Why hasn't he repealed any of that and given us a little bit more gun freedom? You know, so you start putting in some of these issues without actually attacking Trump, because once you attack Trump, they don't even want to listen to you. But if you say, okay, look, I understand why you like Trump, but here's some better things that he hasn't done, then, you know, then they actually listen to that, and they respect the fact that you're not just coming at him because you hate Trump and I'm going to tell you everything that he did wrong. But you know, you just suggest a few things he could do better, and they open up a little bit, they listen, and they start to consider it. And you're probably not going to win them over in one conversation, but we have seen a lot of success. We have won over a lot of Trump supporters with this campaign. And you know, that's really the strategy that we have to take, because this is, you know, like I said, this is the long-term thing. We get people to think libertarian long-term. This isn't just about one election, one cycle, or anything else. We need to change the way our entire society thinks and views the role of government.
Got it. And then, um, last question, sort of, what form? I mean, basically, society's kind of changed a little bit. At least it will be a little bit different for the foreseeable future this year. So, what form? What things can libertarians do across the country to keep their activism going, to keep the libertarian message visible in this era of sort of, again, social distancing and you know, lots anti-back and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, just working together and strategizing, and using as much online social media as we can. Anything you can do outdoors. Maybe if you're a truck driver, use your truck and turn it into a moving, you know, a mobile ad for, you know, for a particular idea that you like. You know, these types of things. There are ways to get out there and still get the word out there, and that's really important. One thing that we've been working on with strategy is we're building. So we have this SWAT team, which is it's a goofy name, but it's Skilled Warriors Abolishing Taxes. We called it a SWAT team because we're like, yeah, it's time for us to kick in their doors and start changing things. And so what we're doing is we're partnering with cross ballot candidates, and we're sharing ideas, we're sharing resources, we're creating websites, we're sharing volunteers, you know, everything. We're working together to kind of fight against the, you know, the system by, you know, getting people elected at so many different levels. And what's interesting about this team is, you know, we almost work together as one big team. So we're sharing resources that we don't normally see. Like, for example, we're cross endorsing, and we're using our mailing lists. And you know, one of the things that we see a lot of in the Libertarian Party is candidates coming and going, and they don't have all the resources necessarily. They don't understand the value of a mailing list. They don't have a mailing list to begin with. They don't start with a mailing list. And so what we're doing is we're building something that hopefully moving into the future, we can share with other libertarian candidates, where we can say, okay, I've built a list in Iowa, and now somebody else is running in Iowa. I'm going to send an email to my list saying, hey, there's a new person running. I endorse this person. I'm going to, you know, ask them to add you to their mailing list. And I, you know, I support them. This creates a new bond with a new person that's already stronger than if this new person has to start from scratch. You have an endorsement from somebody, you know, from another campaign you've already been following, and you have and the person running has an actual mailing list. We can look at so many different campaigns. I mean, you know, we've got you know, all of the libertarian parties and states and everything have mailing lists. Counties have mailing lists. All of the candidates at different levels have mailing lists, and there's not a huge a knowledge sharing organization between people to make sure that new candidates are coming on board and having access to all of that. And I think that's really huge. So back to the point of this team that we're building, we're really trying to build something that's going to last into the future, that's really going to make sure that every time an election cycle comes around, we have a much better start, and we have better tools and better strategies and everything already in place.
Cool. And then basically, last off, where can people check you out? Where can people learn more? And yeah.
Sure. So Behrman2020.com is the website, and everything is there that you could ever need. There's more information about the platform. There's a lot of educational videos. There's some content that we've been sharing to win over voters that are on both the left and the right. And of course, it's got links to all the social media pages: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Cool. Thank you very much, Dan, for having this conversation.
Absolutely.
We'll have this on YouTube and the audio on the podcast. And thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.